Welcome to the Accomplished Stephen, and thanks for coming on the podcast.
Thank you very much, man. Glad to be here. Thank you.
Wonderful. All right, let's jump straight into it. Firstly, take us back. Tell us about your life growing up, your family, and everything relating to that.
Yeah, well, I'm born and raised in Miami, Florida. My family's from Jamaica. Um, we got a lot of brothers and sisters. It's about eight of us total combined. I'm the baby, but nevertheless, yeah, I went to college at North Carolina State University in Raleigh, North Carolina. Played 3 years of college, left early, entered the NFL draft in 2006. Got drafted to the Tennessee Titans in the fourth round, 116th pick. I played for the Titans for 5 years, and as a free agent, I went to Detroit Lions. I played in Detroit Lions for 5 years. I left there with the Philadelphia Eagles. I played there for a year, then I retired after my 11th season in 2016. Then I got into the world of entrepreneurship. I got into real estate. I acquired a bunch of land and buildings and property. Then I decided to create a brand called Circle House Coffee. In the midst of me building my real estate portfolio. Um, uh, Went to coffee school in Seattle to learn coffee, Fresno, California. I came back here about 7 years ago and created the brand. Circle House Coffee. It's a philanthropic vision teamed up with my foundation called the Stephen Tulloch Foundation, where I help people affected by cancer, underprivileged kids. So every purchase that's sold within the store, 55 cents goes to my foundation, and we're able to dump into the community. So any transaction we get, 55 cents goes to the foundation. It's just a bottom line number that we always take and we add to the foundation. That helps us do work in the community. I built a school in Jamaica in 2017 in my mother's hometown. Named it after her. It's called the Mercedes B. Tulloch Infant School. We have about 180 kids there. Wrote a kids book in 2015, Little Linebacker Story of Determination, basically helping kids understand that it doesn't matter where you're at in life. It's all about your mindset and on the work that you put in. It's a great book for kids. You can look it up. It's called Little Linebacker Story of Determination. And I'm an entrepreneur. I love giving back and helping people. I think there's a philanthropic vision or purpose behind everything that I do. I think God has blessed me with the opportunity to be fortunate with so much that it's important for me to give back and not forget where I come from. So it's a solid core of who I am and what the brand of Circle House Coffee is about. And just I'm on this journey of life, and I'm about leaving legacy and having purpose and helping people along the way.
Thanks for sharing. That's really great insights. Tell me, when you were younger, did you always know you were going to play in the NFL? Like, is that something that your dream was?
I think when I was younger, I mean, it was just, I love the game of football. I told myself I want to take care of my mother. So whatever that entailed, I'm not sure how, I'm not saying NFL per se. I didn't think about NFL until I got to college. After my freshman year, I knew I had opportunity to be good, very good. And that's when I really knew that I had a chance to get to the NFL. But as a kid, it's just playing football every day, one day hoping to take care of your mom. It's a dream that every kid has. And it's a very hard thing to do, but man, you're less than 1% of 1% of the world that can do it. So it's like a world amongst billions of people, to be chosen as that, one of those 1,900 people to play in the NFL. It's an amazing, amazing accomplishment. And sometimes I don't really sit back and see how much I've gotten to be able to accomplish to do because I'm in the moment. But when I sit back sometimes, especially now being retired 8, 9 years, I look like man, like how the heck did I like it's unbelievable. Like I got there, like I did it, not even just get there, but to do it for a long time and at a high level. But it goes back to mindset, discipline, focus, outworking everybody, coming early, leaving late, not taking no for an answer, going above and beyond. And so that's what I kind of test to that long career.
Terrific. All right, tell me more about Circle House Coffee, and how that name came about. And I guess, it's incredible all the work you do with the underprivileged kids and, cancer patients and everything like that. But how did the initial inspiration and how hard was it setting it up as well?
Well, I think for me, it was more so I have a creative mindset. And so whenever I put my mind to something, I typically do it. So when I came up with the concept of Circle House Coffee, I had bought this building that I'm actually in right now. It's a three-story building in 2017. and it was a law office. And I decided, you know what? Let me see what the zoning is for it. And it was zoned for a drive-through. So what I did was I gutted it all out, cut windows in, and I pushed out the wall and made a drive-through component and a patio in the back. So we're the first and only drive-through coffee brand located in drive-through, if anything, located in downtown Fort Lauderdale. So when I created that movement of a drive-through, it just people just swarmed here, right? Because there's no drive-through. People want easy access on the way to work. Boom, 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 go. And that opened up a lot of opportunities. 80% of our business is drive-through at this location outside of our grocery stores. Um, but opportunities started to happen for us. We got the Miami, we got the NFL Super Bowls. We got the Miami Dolphins who do their coffee. We got Formula One, and then we got into about 87 Myers grocery stores, another 20 something Kroger's grocery stores, and they just started expanding pretty, not fast because we're 7 years in, but everything gradually started moving as the brand started growing. Opportunities started coming, and so we do a lot of cool things here at Circle House. It's no longer just a cafe; it's a brand. We do online. Our products are online at circlehousecoffee.com, Amazon.com, Shopify, different networks when it comes to distribution, such as GFS, etc. But for me, the reason why I created it, to go back to your question, is I wanted to have a purpose with something that I did when I left the game of football. Football was something I was good at. It was not, I didn't identify with the game as that's who I am. It was just something I was good at. So I've always had a passion outside of football where, sometimes you can get caught up in the game where football is your identity. I never wanted that to be me. I wanted to be more than just a game of football. So having that mindset, understanding who I am and where I come from, giving back was a very big component to my life. So Circle House Coffee, our philanthropic vision is to give back to our local global communities one sip at a time. It's a mission that I live by, it's something that I move on every day. And so that's why I started the brand is to help bring awareness to people that don't have a voice per se to speak on what they have going on when it comes to foster care, kids cancer, women abuse. We team up with different companies to help bring awareness to their foundations and what they're trying to do charitably wise. So that's what Circle House Coffee embodies. That's what we do. Our mission is why I open this business, and I'm glad to see that it's impacting a lot of lives.
That's incredible. You should be truly proud. Like the trajectory of it too that you've explained is just incredible. So yeah, well done. Um, when you look back at your career, what's been your proudest achievements? And it doesn't have to be NFL per se. It can be obviously what you were just discussing, and you've done quite a lot. What would be the greatest achievement?
I think the greatest achievement when it's all said and done is the fact that I set out to do something and I did it. It wasn't a straight road to success. There was definitely a lot of ups and downs, adversities, things that happen along the journey that you don't account for. But I've always told people that adversity builds character. You find a lot about yourself when you go through adverse situations, and it helps mold you to become a better person, to understand patience, to understand the process. So I think nowadays people want to get to the destination right away. I've always been a person that understands the process of getting to success. I enjoy the process. Like this for me is the most exciting part about it because once you get to where you want to get to, it's what's next. So I think a lot of times we look past the process to the destination opposed to enjoying what the ups and downs and the grit and grind of the day to day. It's like you starting your podcast, right? You start your podcast with one couple followers, you start growing it before you know it, it's boom. And you can appreciate that because you went through the process of experiencing what it was not to have anybody, but then to have a whole massive audience. So it's the same thing for me, my approach with anything that I do. And any business that I get into, I understand every facet of it. I want to understand the nuances of what it takes. So that way, as I get to a certain point, I can start delegating and making processes and systems where things flow a lot easier. So I enjoy that part of the game. I enjoy developing young men and women who I have on my staff. And I have a staff of about 24 people who I've developed over the years. And it's just cool to be able to, be a mentor to a lot of people who necessarily might not see the strengths of them, the leadership within them, but I can pour it into them and help develop them. I get excited in developing people and seeing people take the next step in their life far beyond they can ever imagine because someone did it for me.
That's remarkable. All right. Let's talk about your NFL career. When you played in the NFL, what was your pinch me moments? What were moments that stand out when you look back at your career and go, wow, that was really cool.
I just think just the opportunity to walk out there, the opportunity to say that you walk on an NFL field and not just play, but where it was a starter and wore that C on your chest, right? That picture you see behind me, like there's no better feeling in the world to have played Madden and to have watched the game as a kid and go out there and see your idols, see people you grew up watching and died to get an autograph with, but now you're playing against them on a highest level. So I think for me, I still pinch myself to this day that I actually did it. I got to look back at my books and all my memorabilia to be like, man, you were there, man, you did it, because it goes so fast. Like you're in the moment and it's gone. Everybody gets older. You're 9 years outside of the game. So I enjoy just the opportunity to have wore that jersey. I enjoy the opportunity to have walked on the field and to be a captain for the men on my team. And just to be able to make my family proud and to be able to, create opportunities and build and create generational wealth. Just do all these cool things that, I never, especially where I come from, ever could imagine doing or being. So it's just cool to really sit back here and soak and enjoy it every once in a while.
Amazing. Did you have any mentors that helped guided you in your career?
I did. I did. I had a guy named the name of Jay Lotzbich. He was a very profound man. My mother took care of his mother at Heartland Healthcare Center when I was a kid. My mom was a private nurse, so she was an elderly lady. So I grew up in a nursing home. So I grew up helping patients and providing meals and pushing them to different areas within the nursing home. But there's a guy named Jay Lotzbich who my mother worked for his mother, and he took liking to me. He bought my first computer, put me in tutoring. He offered me $50 for every B, $100 for every A. Like he was very inspirational in my life. And I can tell you right now, without him being in my life, I don't know where I'd be. But he definitely instilled in me hard work, accountability, discipline, and a guy I never met before in my life just took liking to me and really provided me an opportunity and a mindset to understand what it takes to be successful. And so he's no longer with us, but he's with me. He laid the foundation for a lot of things that I do, a lot of the business that I'm in, and things that I'm involved in. It's because of the mindset that he instilled in me.
Tremendous. Who was the greatest player you ever played against or with?
I played against and with a lot of great players. I'd say Calvin Johnson is probably one of the greatest people slash players I've ever played with. I've played a lot of great ones, but he's something that you're just in awe. You don't really see ever a special talent, a special person. And I was honored to have been on this team, and actually be great friends with him. But he's just a spectacular, spectacular player.
Cool. What's the best compliment you've ever received?
Thank you. I think thank you is the best thing. I appreciate it. I mean, I live for gratitude. I live for, just to, be appreciated, man, and know that, I do things from my heart. And so when people acknowledge it, it feels good.
Cool. And what was your favorite stadium to play at in your NFL career?
Favorite stadium to play it would be, well, y'all they playing home, so Detroit was always a good stadium to play at home. But one of the coolest ones was Lambeau Field in Green Bay. That was pretty cool. Lombardi, the history behind it. Seattle, the 12 is an amazing place to play. The Cowboy Stadium is like a whole nother world. It's like different planet. But yeah, there's a lot of good ones.
Tremendous. And what motivates and inspires you daily?
To be better than I was yesterday. Every day to get up to be better. I judge my life, and I think we all should. We should judge our life on a year-to-date basis. Where was I at this time last year? What have I accomplished from this time last year? And I think that's for me, that's how I measure myself. Am I still in the same place I was last year, or am I growing, or am I elevating? So every day, just try to get better, and improve and keep moving things forward.
That's impressive. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
The best piece of life,
Best piece of advice.
best piece of advice, I would say hard work pays off. Hard work pays off. You never get to success by cutting corners. You never get to success long term by cheating people. I think being transparent in everything that you do and how you move, staying consistent and believing in yourself, I think that's for me is the biggest thing. I think once you're locked in, and you got to sacrifice a lot to be successful. You got to be willing to cut people off when that you don't want to, but you know that they're hindering your advancement. You got to be so dialed into your goals and your dreams that nothing else matters within reason, right? You might have to isolate yourself for 6 months to a year, but in order to truly achieve greatness, you can't cheat yourself. You can't cheat it, right? You gotta eat right. You gotta sleep. You gotta get up early. You gotta get up, stay up late. Sometimes you might not sleep, but if you really want it bad enough, then you'll find a way to get it.
That's some great advice. And what advice would you give a young Stephen, potentially in your same position? What would you tell him?
I think for me, I would say, hey, you're doing the right things, right? You have been chosen for something greater than you can ever imagine. Stay positive. Stay in school, keep making good grades, surround yourself around the right people. I was isolated sometimes. I was real like to myself a lot as a kid. I tell myself, stay to yourself. You know what I mean? Surround yourself around people who are advancing in life. Don't hang out with the people who are knuckleheads. Stay on the course, stay in your craft. When people want to go party, stay home, study the film, get your work done. You know what I mean? All that stuff is going to be here. It's not going anywhere. So I'm so glad that I can tell my younger self, I'll tell you, hey, look, you're doing the right thing. Keep doing what you're doing. And like I said, you can control what you control. You can't control what you can't control. So I'll tell myself that as well.
Yeah, awesome. What's something about playing in the NFL that the general public don't know about or see?
It's a business. It's definitely a business, but it's a grind. It's very hard. Football doesn't start during the season. It starts in the off season. So right after the Super Bowl, 2 weeks after February, the Super Bowl, you're back at it, and you're grinding every day. You're training, you're working, you're running, your therapy. You're studying film. You're doing so much work to prepare for a season. It's unbelievable. The body the toll that it takes on your body, your mind. At the same time, you still got to have a family. You still got to do your own day to day. You still got to be able to function like a normal human being. But you're not normal. Football players are not normal. You can't flip a switch and just be a different human being. You can contain it in the general public. You can try to, hey, how you doing? Shake an autograph, but your mind is on a whole other world. You got to be a gladiator to be out there. You got to be you have to be wired differently to go out there and do what you do. So a lot of times, yeah, football players are aggressive because it's a switch they try to flip, but you can't flip the switch. You can maintain it, kind of control it in general public, but when you get on that field, you're a different human being. You're a savage. Your mind's just on a whole other level. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a fine line. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of pressure to be a professional athlete in any sport because you're playing at the highest level you can play in the world, but still you have to balance your day-to-day life, things that go on typically outside of the sport, but it's very challenging.
Awesome. Do you think the NFL looks after its players?
I think within reason. I think the NFL looks, they provide different resources for players to do it. Do players take advantage of it? Probably not. A lot of times guys don't think something's wrong with them, right? A lot of guys think that they can control it themselves, but quite frankly, you do need help. Someone to speak to and someone to talk to and things that you battle that very few people might understand that you can talk to. So I think NFL does the best that it can. I just don't know if guys really take advantage of the opportunity to do it. Uh, but I think, there's resources out there to get help.
Cool. And with your business, how do you motivate different personalities?
I mean, everyone's different, but I think the way I do things, I keep transparency amongst everything that I do. So I treat everyone the same, and I hold myself accountable for people to treat me the same way. So I think once you do that and you lay an even playing field that no one's bigger than the team, even the owner of the business, it makes things flow easier because you're always transparent within the space. You're willing to call yourself out. You're willing to call somebody else out. And it's in a reprimanding way. It's in a way of just accountability. So when you create accountability in a culture, people hold each other accountable where they don't want to let each other down. I tell my team all the time, we're only as strong as our weakest link. If our weakest link is holding us down, we have to find someone to help us get better. So I think we hold ourselves accountable, number one. Number two, we're consistent in what we do. There's thick skin here, there's no thin skin. We're always trying to find ways to improve, not just the business, but ourselves as individuals.
Great. And what is something that you look back as now from when you're younger that you've matured?
I matured in a lot of different ways. I would say just leaving sports and getting into business, uh, I'm seeing a different side of it, right? You know, I was an athlete for a long time, but now in business and real estate and obviously in the coffee business, you know, you're the owner, right? You're the head coach. You got to direct and delegate and put people in places that they might not see and understand, but you got to have the vision to know what it takes to get to where it needs to get to. So to be able to have the instincts that I had as a football player and bring those instincts to business, I could position things and people in different places, not only for the business to succeed, but for them to succeed as well.
Yeah, cool. And what is one thing you miss most about playing in the NFL?
Just miss the guys, you know, the opportunities, the free meals that we get, the first class travel, you know, the planes, you know, the luxury. I mean, it's a different world, man. It's quite, man. I just, man, it's an unbelievable experience. I definitely miss those cool things, but more importantly, man, I miss my teammates, the coaching staff, the guys that grind every day with you, and know about you, you know about them. It's just pretty cool.
Great. And how do you celebrate milestones?
I think for me, milestones are more so. I don't really celebrate milestones. I think for me, it's more so. I'm very humble, so I think that's why I keep going. I don't really soak in anything that I accomplish, and I think I need to more, but it's just hard because I see I want to. We're only on Earth for so long, and I want to accomplish so much and do so many things that there's no limit to what you can do, and so I push myself far beyond what I think I can do a lot of the times. But as I get older, you know, slowing down for me, spending more time with my family is kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, cool. And you're a very busy person. What do you like to do? What's your passions and hobbies aside from the work that you're doing? Like on your downtime, what do you like to do?
What I like to do, just kind of relax, man. I love to travel the world. I do a lot of traveling. I've seen a lot of the world. I love going to different countries. I love playing golf, being on the water, being on the boat. And there's a lot of, you know, things of that nature that I like to do.
Cool. What's your favorite country you've been to?
I love Portugal. I think Portugal is a beautiful place. Africa is amazing as well. Different parts of Africa, are nice. Ghana and Kenya and Tanzania, beautiful Serengeti, uh, Kruger National Park, Johannesburg. I mean, those are all great places. Looking forward to Asia coming up soon, but I just love seeing the world, man. It's a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah, it'd definitely be eye-opening, and give you great culture and experience.
Right.
If you're 18 again and you could change anything, it can be personally or professionally, what would you change?
For me, I don't know, man. I kind of like who I am. You know, I kind of like who I am. I kind of like the fact that I'm my own person, and you know, I've been able to meet a lot of great people and been, you know, guided the right way and just great friends and family. So I don't think there's much I would change. I'm actually happy who I am.
Yeah, great. Stephen, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I do appreciate it. I've really thoroughly enjoyed interviewing you, and it's incredible everything you've done, and you're obviously incredible brand as well.
I appreciate it, man. Good luck with everything.
Thank you. Same with you.
All right, buddy.